Alrighty now. Welcome back to the Caribou Data Science channel. This, of course, again is your midweek midnight madness, and the madness continues this evening. That's interesting. That's a different color. That's kind of strange. We can actually now try to begin to work on the SSAS part of this project. But first of all, of course, let's open up our SQL Server 2022. Let's take a quick look as a reminder at our Cyclistic Bikeshare data set. And the good news from the last session, of course, as you recall, we got all of our primary and our foreign keys set up on all of our tables. So look over here. Also, be sure to watch here and stay tuned. Very sure I'll begin doing some videos on working with some cell phone data from Tunisia. Okay, actually, the data was created, of course, by Chaptgpt itself. But we look at things such as things you would expect to look at with where are you over here? Take a look at calendar, columns, primary key for date, come down to station, columns, primary key for the station ID. No, actually not for the station ID. Is something wrong here? No, this here. Well, let's just take a look at what we did to the stations, okay? As you recall, I kept having problems with getting duplicate station names. I mean, you look at it with your eye, and the two rows would be identical, but apparently it wasn't, because some of the stations had like two. Had more than one entry, so you could get a count of 2 or 3. Despite using Chaptgpt to try to say only take care of the first rows. So what I did was use SQL code to convert the station name to lowercase. Okay. And remove all spaces, which is why you see like the ampersand sign there. And if we were to look at this, you would see that now there's only one row for each one of these station names, okay? Now let's take a look up here at the data itself. Bike rides. This is what's important, the foreign keys. We got a foreign key on which goes from the calendar table, start and end date. We also got start station ID and end station foreign keys. Okay, so we could take a quick look at the rise table just to see what's there. As you recall, there's about what? I don't know. Let's see. Let's just do a quick count to remind ourselves of exactly how much data we actually have to work with here. But the important thing is, as well, let's look at two things. Let's just refresh our memories with the number of rows in the data. This, of course, is our fact table. The station name and the date table are dimensions, fact rides. Okay, so let's just look and see how many rows we actually have here. So let's take a quick peek here, see to remind ourselves of the rows. Then we'll look at what? Then we'll look at the diagram of our database. And you know, having your foreign keys, your private keys set up for your database is important. I say you have to have it correctly set up in order to use it. I think in order to use it in SQL Server and SSAS. Okay, because it wants to go in and wants to join the tables inside of SSAS. So we got 4.6 million rows. Okay. Diagrams. Do we have one? So here we go. And this is what we're looking for here. We're really only interested in the keys, okay? Okay. So we got two keys going to start and end date. Okay. Right. We got one key going from start station key to start station key. All right, and that's what we're interested in. So now let's come over here. Now we have to build our analysis database. And that's it down here. This is interesting. How the heck do you create a database? This is a bit awkward. This is sort of interesting, isn't it? How do I create a database? right? You watch the video and it's like, well, this is a piece of cake. You know, all you got to do is just come over here, create a new a new SSAS database. Okay, let's do this. Let's give it one more shot. Let's give it one more shot. Make sure we're not missing something here. That's kind of strange, isn't it? So let's start. Now we could probably, this is kind of strange also. I don't understand why that's white all of a sudden. Of course, if you are in the background, you know what, I'm not gonna lie, I was really disappointed in the lack of response from in the last session, because the last session was, go back and watch it if you would, that's where we go through the process of setting up the primary and the foreign keys on all of our tables, all the Cyclistic Bikeshare tables, okay? Only got like 5 views. Probably, content-wise, one of my best videos so far, although I have to apologize up front, I had the microphone turned off. An analyst services, let's connect. See what it says. Now the register what? Attach what? Oh, restore from power pivot. Interesting, okay. What do we want to attach? Okay, well, I thought we'd be able to log on to SSAS and create a new database to store the stuff in. But let's just see what happens anyway. Let's just okay, that's a little weird there, isn't it? The modern and hip way to do SSAS is, and SSIS even, is with Microsoft Visual Studio. But you can install the 2 add-ins, the 2 extensions, one for SSIS and one for SSAS, okay? Because what it does is, SSAS creates its own database. It has its own database engine, basically. It creates its own engine. Now, the critical thing to understand about SSAS is everything is done in memory, which makes it really fast if you have enough memory. Okay, now I need to give you a little warning here. I'm running Windows 11 a virtual machine with 24 gigabytes of memory and 4 processors, okay? So it may take a little longer. The other thing I want you to understand about SSAS, it's basically, you know, it's basically Power BI in terms of the way you create the tables and stuff. I should say Power BI is basically SSAS table system. Okay, SSRS is basically Power BI, but in terms of the actual data management and table management in Power BI, that's basically SSAS, and the interface, if it works right, should really look familiar to you, okay? And it even uses the same DAX function language as does Power BI and even Excel's Power Query, okay? So here's our bike ride. Okay, so we're opening up our Visual Studio here. Now I'll also point out that if you look in some older videos, you see it talk about what SSDT data tools. Well, Visual Studio has since like version 2016 has replaced the SSDT, the data tools. Okay, so you don't have to install that. It's folded it all into here. Now, as you can see on my system, Visual Studio doesn't load the fastest. Okay, we haven't begun to work with data yet. But again, the key is, well, it's fairly slow. A couple of minutes for me to load the data, the bike data into, say, Power BI. Okay, it's it should be fast once we get the SSAS set up, because we'll be loading the table from memory. Okay. References, model BLM. So maybe we actually had to create the AS database inside of Visual Studio. Okay. Let's do this. Let's view objects. What we're going to create a table, okay? What's that? Wonder where that came from. Well, let's just create a data source, see what happens. Nothing there. Windows authentication, database name. Or try using Windows authentication first. If it doesn't work, we'll come back and try the SQL Server settings. Okay, test connection. So this is where it failed last time. This is looking promising. Not that promising. Okay, so we'll try it again, but this time we'll try it with a login. Because the admin login has admin privileges on the Cyclistic Bikeshare dataset, okay? Okay, so I'm not sure what this is doing. Import new tables. And like, if this doesn't work, we'll have to punt. Okay. I thought getting the relationship set up would be enough. Let's see. So we actually have to use a name from the SQL Server database. And minor things we can try. We can try to, for instance, do a date hierarchy. How would that be? A date hierarchy? We could try to hide columns we don't want the users to the users don't need to see. We don't want them to see. You can see it is in fact important in all the rows. And as far as the station name, 861 is the correct number. Now to get this far is big. Okay, it's really big. And again, I want to say, I'm a broken record, but I'm going to say, I wasn't able to, well, I don't know. I don't think I was able to do this without the foreign primary key set, okay? Because essentially what you do, you take this, turn it into a table, and then store it on the SQL Server database. Now, as you can see, it's taken a couple minutes to import them, what do we say, 4.6 million rows or something like that. By the way, if you are out there in TV land, do me a favor, give this video a big thumbs up tonight for me. I really appreciate it. I really need, we really need those thumbs up to build our station up, okay? And of course, as always, stop by that chat session for me and say hi, tell me who you are, where you're located in the world, what's your data, what's your interest in data analytics or data analytics or data science, databases, whatever, okay? I've also mentioned, if you look at it up in, well, let's see. It's a good question. For me, the top left-hand corner of the screen, you can actually see the name of the song that's playing, which is sort of interesting because once again, I got flagged on the same song again today. I want to tell you about that very briefly, or stalling here, okay? I downloaded the video from Sunday, from what was it? Friday morning, okay? Uploaded again, and within a minute of that being posted, uploading the video, it was flagged for a song. How can it possibly be? How can these people flag the song that fast? But anyway, and the trouble there is all my music comes from Facebook Sound Collection. You go to Facebook/sound, all their copyright-free music is there. But of course, YouTube doesn't care about that. You don't care. YouTube doesn't care about protecting their creators from fraud, because it is fraud. I mean, why do I have to keep saying the same thing over and over again for the same songs? Okay, we're up to 1.8 million rows. Now, if you know Power BI and you know DAX, you'll be right at home inside of Analyst Services, SSAS. Because once we go into the table view, it's all about measures. Okay, it's all about measures. And you did a measure as a column measure. It performs a calculation on a column. Okay. That's what measures are, and that's what Power BI is all about. You calculate your measures in a table view, or you calculate them inside the actual Finder interface. Okay. Maybe we can even take a quick look at that. Tell you what, I got a small database over there, and we'll take a look and we'll refresh our memory about exactly what the table view is and what DAX functions are. Okay. And one note about data warehouses are not live databases. They store historical data, whether that is data up through the first of the month, or up through the last quarter, or for the last 12 months. It does not a data warehouse is not real-time data. One of these days, I also need to look into the source control down there. Okay. Okay. So let's get some data. Now, remember, we're doing this here. We're pulling it directly from the database, and not, although technically it's in memory, we're still pulling from the database. While SSAS takes the data and builds a table in its memory. So when you access it from Power BI, rather than pull from the database, you're pulling it from memory. Okay, get data. Again, the interface, once you get your relationship set up, the interface is really pretty much the same thing. Oh, if we had looked on that data page, we should have also saw an entry for SQL Server or SSAS databases. Now, of course, this could also be slowing things down. Let's do a direct query, just see if it's any quicker. No, it's supposed to be quicker anyway. Of course, we're now dividing our resources between two pretty good memory hogs, okay? Notice also, you could actually use Python code to create visualizations, which is kind of nice because by default, I don't. Ooh, what do we got here? Cyclistic raw data, North pandemic marketing. Well, here you can see our two tables, okay? All right. Let's go over to Northwind real quick here. Let's see if we can get this to work. So you can see we got a little diagram set up here, right? We're getting close. Let's just forget about that. We don't need to be divine our resources. So we're getting close anyway. Was it 4.8? 4.6? We're getting close now. We're getting close now. Of course, maybe that's it. Now it's just finishing up the import. Maybe this is it. It's just taking a few. Maybe it's just finally just beginning to wrap up the final import process. So it appears that that's the final number of rows is at 4.6 million and change. Complete details. Uh-oh. So if we close that now, what do we see? Okay. And here's our table. Okay. And there's the three tables down there. Relationships. Let's see what we got up here now. Here's a dim table. Here's a fact table. Now our object let's try this. New calculated table. Okay, so how do we come up here then? So the question then becomes, how do we create a table? Okay, so these are correctly joined. Now what do we do? Now suppose you come up here for instance, and say hide write ID. Okay, so how do we get to the table view now? This. Okay, how do we get okay, so that may not be correct either. See, because we're not seeing the dates there. But I'm not seeing all the columns, are we? Okay, because we're not seeing all these in one space. Okay, and that's the problem. And again, the relationships are set up correct. Oh, thank you so much, friend. Yeah, those are all from the Facebook sound collection. It's a whole collection of hundreds of freely used. You can freely use for your streams and stuff like that. Yeah, I think that's from the Blues collection, maybe. So, how are you with SSAS? So here's the thing. The good news is this is as far as I've gotten so far with SSAS. And I got this far because I correctly set up the foreign and primary keys in the database. So I successfully Hey, thank you so much. Be sure to give me a big thumbs up tonight. I appreciate it. So where in the world are you from? Yeah, so the trouble is, I'm not seeing everything in a view. That's what I don't understand. Ethiopia, goodness gracious. I think you may be the first person from Ethiopia that's ever stopped by my stream. Be sure to spread the word in Ethiopia for me, okay, among the data science community down there. Thanks so much for taking time out from your night or morning, whatever it is. I mean, I should see a view of the combined tables, okay, in SSAS here, but I don't. I don't see it, and that's what I don't understand. Yep, you can get all my music on Facebook/sound. Have a good night, friend. Get some sleep. Stop by next. I'll probably what is this? So I'll probably next be streaming Monday morning at midnight. Okay. And the good news is, all the relationships are showing up. We got a connection to SQL Server. Got the tables down here. Oh, by the way, I also have a blog. This blog is, whoops. I also have a blog. This one here. I think this is it. Dave's Analytics. This blog is devoted to plots and made using GNU plot. Okay. So you can go and look at this at your leisure. And here it is. Okay. Okay. I may have to ask my good friend R and SQL to help me build a table. All right. I also use a lot of Chatgpt, by the way. Let's just try something a little crazy here. I don't see process all. Oh shoot, that's not what we wanted to do, is it? Come on, project, and choose deploy. Shoot, we've already did this, didn't we? Yeah, I don't see deploy. We got process. We got roles. Model view. Data view. Let's see something here. Let's try this. Deploy. Interesting. So what does this do? The deployment operation may take several minutes to complete. The only problem is I don't know how I got here. I don't know how I got here. But you know what? I'm gonna go and read. This is another cliffhanger. This is another cliffhanger session. I'm going to leave you right here so you can understand what's going on. We'll be back Monday morning at midnight to bring you up to date.